think your wife's the only person logging on.
Is that?
MJFX, isn't that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's you too? We sent letters to 100 houses.
I know, Mary was contacting all our neighbors.
Oh, good. Well, we'll wait a little bit more.
I think this just demonstrates that the neighbors have full confidence in
Oh.
our ability to.
I hope you're right, Ken.
If I turn my camera,
Last night was the other meeting.
okay. So, what, could you guys see if that goes over there? The owl's supposed to pick you up. Oh, it's,
We could try it, yeah.
no,
I don't know how.
I'm using the wrong camera. Ah, there we go. All right. There we go.
Nobody comes to you to pay it, and to the us.
Sorry, it's all rolled in. As you can see, we have a packed room here. We'll wait a few more minutes. I was hoping Cappy would be here or.
Did you not pay for the postage?
Oh, I did.
Did you get
I brought
one?
it to the post office.
In the mail?
Yeah, should have got one, unless we actually took you up.
Very over there.
I don't, I'm not aware that I did, to
Uh-oh.
be honest with you, but
And ask your wife, she's on
When did you send, oh, do you know?
last week. Yeah. So,
When you're talking people.
I kinda think so, yeah.
I got a bunch of them in email.
We have not gotten any back, let me tell you that. We dumped them in the mail and we haven't gotten any back, so. it's good sign.
Yeah, you said, it's quite a range, actually.
Yeah, we did, we drew circles around this place and we kind of set the cutoff point at about 100 houses, we figured. Cause if we do fully out, I think the true abutters list is like 300, was like 300 houses, so.
They were one more.
Don't fit to that. I used to flyer in Chelsea for like park projects, like a playground that's literally right next to people's homes and.
My wife just texted me, nothing in mail,
Okay.
Oh, no.
so she must have heard it.
All I can think of is maybe
Maybe we skipped you.
we skipped you because you were already dealing with it. I don't know.
Well, I don't know, would you say, a couple weeks, was it?
Mm.
Yeah, it was in October, yeah.
Oh, it's definitely in October.
Yeah,
So that's more than a month, 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking,
Today's the 9th.
I'm gonna feel awful if they didn't.
Well, they had to, if you sent them, they had to have gotten to you.
None came back.
None came back, they had zip codes on them, I'm just trying to think of everything that we could have, yeah, the
Did you mail them here in town?
No, well, yeah, mailed them in Woburn actually, so that's the
distribution.
That's the
Oh,
fastest.
that's right, yeah. The one on Washington Street, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people are connected on Zoom?
Yeah, just Mary.
Is that it right there?
Yep, that's it.
Oh, okay. Not a huge number,
Yeah, it's, all right.
can you tell?
Are we recording at this point?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe our CTV is on, so,
Because once we are, I think will be appropriate for us to call.
the meeting to order.
Yeah.
Just,
Sounds really very interesting, and RCT can still make it to see.
oh, it says Board of Library Trustees, but yeah, I guess that's what it is. So it's live and it's going, so it's, that there are 2 people watching.
Oh, nice, that's awesome.
Oh, maybe one of them is me.
Okay, let's just really quickly call the Library Landscaping Committee to order.
Like,
All right. So Chris, and I just want to welcome Chris, I'm sorry, Steve Christofouli, sorry, I'm staring at him, and Megan Donahoe, who are from Activitas, and they are going to be doing a presentation for us tonight. My name is Amy Lannon, and I'm the director of the library. If you're tuning in or watching this on recording, thank you for joining us. So Steve and Megan from Activitas are part of a landscape architecture and civil engineering firm, and Activitas has worked with the town on a number of projects, including this newest Birch Meadow Park redesign and renovations, including Turk 2, the stadium track, and whole site renovations. And they're also working on a townwide recreation master plan. So they've been around for a number of years, and they've really come to be a really valuable partner for the town. And we were very lucky to be able to have them help us with this design study for the library exterior landscape / learning space. So on the call tonight is are members of the landscape committee that it's an ad hoc library landscape committee formed by the trustees. We have trustee Terry Dubois, our chair, Dr. Gena Kiliowski, and Ben Kers, who is the town's economic director, director of economic development, and Jake Susi, who is also on the library landscape committee, as well as Megan Clemente, our department assistant today. And hopefully we have someone else joining us.
Welcome.
And so with that, I'm going to, could you have it make it so that they can share screen. And then we're gonna let Activitas take over. Here we go.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for having us tonight to go through this presentation as we kick the project off. So just a quick rundown. Amy kind of just went over the intros. We'll talk about the overview of the project and what we're looking to achieve. We'll run through some site analysis that we've been working on since our initial meeting, show some precedent images to get everyone's minds thinking, and really the bulk of tonight is to listen and kind of act as the sponge and absorb comments from the neighborhood, community, the group, whoever. So Amy, did you want to run through?
Oh, yes. Next slide. Are you on? Yeah. Steve, you have to hit next slide, I think.
I thought is it this one?
We're seeing the front. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, so we're seeing the first page. If you go to the next page. Sorry. Page 2.
Oh, it's frozen.
We love technology, right?
Never had this happen. It says screen sharing is paused. Let me try it again.
Okay, try it again. It's all participant, yeah. I'm not doing it. There we go. All right. So thanks. So I'm just going to do this. This is just a list of folks that are on the team. Actually, a couple people that aren't on there are Desiree Zico, who is also on the call with us. Desiree Zico is on the committee. She is online, as well as I think Andrea Hogan, who's on the committee, and she is online as well. And then also we have, Desiree is up there. And then we have Fidel, Joe Huggins, who's the director of facilities, Kevin Cabuzzi, assistant director, Ryan Percival, the town engineer, and also Andrew McNichol, who's our director of community development. And so basically, we started this project, we've been thinking about this since the library was renovated in 2016. And so we're partnering with Activitas at this point to just do a feasibility and sort of design concept idea. We gathered together as a committee, this committee got together and had some really great ideas, talked about programming opportunities, how to connect with the neighborhood and our space around us, talked a lot about accessibility, the importance of signage and lighting. And we were also looked a lot about what's out there now. And then you go and say, well, now we have all this information, what do we do with it? So bring in a company like Activitas. So this point right now in the project, we want to get input from the community. The first priority was to talk to neighbors, was to get information back. We're doing, I think Steve will talk about another survey that we'll be doing. But today is really just to kind of focus on the immediate space right around the library. Just to remind everybody, the library's core mission is to be a place and platform. And that's where, so the place and the space, as well as the platform, a place where you can do something, where you can learn something, where you can connect with people. And it's a place where you can come as an individual, as well as connect with people to be part of a community. The four core values that drive us, we try to look at our programming, our collections, any of the services we offer. We're always looking to connect with education. We're always looking to connect with equity, accountability, and access. So the library as place and space, part of our current strategic plan. So that's why we're trying to kind of work on this project right now so that we have something in place going forward. There's just some information there. The library itself is just trying to work with the Board of Trustees and the library staff. We want to get information from public surveys. And then once we get these conceptualized outdoor environment ideas, that's when we're going to have to really kind of put the pedal to the metal and think about fundraising and come up with actual designs from landscape architecture firms. So this is really just conceptual and feasibility studies. Things that we talked about, and I shouldn't say, when I say we, I mean the landscape committee. We really reviewed a lot of what we already use the exterior space for. We use them for educational events. We do nature lessons. We have some story times outside. We've done concerts. We do a lot with plants and gardening. This town, Reading, is very invested in its open spaces, town forest. We have a trails committee. We have the conservation commission. We have a town forest committee. So those are really important to us. We also know that as a community, we're very dedicated to being a green and climate friendly community. We don't want to do anything that would be detrimental to the environment. We want to do things that would actually increase and improve our natural spaces. And so that's encouraging birds and pollinators, native plantings, being sustainable, access to water, and easy care and maintenance. This is a community space. We don't have a whole bunch of gardeners to come take care of everything. So we do need to make sure that whatever we do is able to be maintained. The group also talked a lot about accessibility. It's something that's really important. We hear it in a lot of different areas, from everywhere from recreation to healthcare, getting access to vaccines and things like that. But access for folks to get into the space and outside of the space is really, really important. And then I mentioned before, community, all the programs and anything that we do in that area, it's really about trying to bring people together and to have them connect.
Awesome. And with that info, it kind of helped set us up to really start taking a deeper dive into the site, kind of a plan view, broader view of the library property itself, just showing the access points, the existing circulation paths, grade and slope differentials that can promote good opportunities for certain educational spaces, outdoor spaces, and also the accessibility, which is a concern, and it is something that we will have to address on that eastern side of the library. Sorry, I'm trying to look upside down. We took a look at the lighting, the scale of the lighting, pathway lights versus bollard lights. I know that has come up in the past, concerns of just wanting to light the site properly for safety, but not polluting the surrounding areas. We also obviously took on the ground look at all the conditions. The green space, like I said, the topography, and the existing site amenities. As we continue to digest how the space is currently used and opportunities for the redesign, we'll continue looking at all the analysis that we've developed to help guide that. On a even broader view, we just took a look at parking, really just part of the accessibility analysis. We're very much aware of the limitations on the actual site when it comes to any of the concepts that we explore and propose, that it wouldn't be anything that would really have a huge impact on the neighborhood. And then just some precedent images. Some of these we've reviewed with the landscape committee. Some are others that we found and thought they'd be a good example to look at for ideas. So this is a pretty good outdoor space, tiered seating, very natural, allows for the educational opportunities for plantings, events. Kind of similar in a lot of these themes is the idea of introducing some kind of tiered event space and multi-use space, I should say, which works with the existing site topography and will obviously incorporate full accessibility doing that. Just a couple more. Again, lighting as an element can be addressed in a number of ways. That's not really throwing a ton of downlight and light spill. Another outdoor space, multi-use, with some gardening and I just blanked, sorry. Another cool idea, outdoor movie spot. Something to think about. The neighbors can watch from their houses. I thought this one was pretty good. Really offering a space for picnics, any kind of craft fair, farmer's market, but nothing that's permanent. And now is when we want to hear from whoever is in there. I'm not sure if anyone else has showed up or online.
No,
We have someone who did join us.
Yeah, you gotta carry it, Larry.
I think it's the one picture there showed the driveway going along this side. I don't know how you would do that.
Why don't you introduce yourself and
Larry Hayes, I live across the street.
Great on School Street. Great. Thanks for joining us, Larry.
Thank you.
I have to ask this, did you hear about this from the neighbors or did you get a mailing about this or
My wife did.
your wife heard about it or your wife, we're trying
She
to.
got a mailing.
You did get the
Okay.
mail.
All right. We mailed out a bunch of things and we were worried it maybe didn't get there. So at least somebody one got it. So I appreciate that. Thank you for letting us know.
The one federal agency that still works.
Yeah, it hasn't shut down yet. Yeah, so, you know, we do have someone online and we have Jake and we have Larry and I guess, Hannah, you're kind of a neighbor? You're around the block?
Yeah, Larry, this is probably your first time seeing some of these images. We had an opportunity to look through some very similar items in the past. Like, what was your impression? What did you think?
I just don't know how you would do it, put a driveway on this side.
I missed the driveway, what was that?
I'm not sure. I don't think we're talking about adding any hard,
I
any,
think what you saw was the pull through on this side.
that already exists.
Yep, so it's already there today. I don't think there's any proposal for a driveway right here.
Steve, do you mind going back to the, screenshot you had of the space that you have, like the E for educational space, you know, like that little, sort of the little map and from the top.
The overhead?
Yeah, well, yeah, keep going, yeah, that one, perfect. So that's the existing space. And what we're talking about is really to the, I guess, the east side. North, yes, east. There's an existing path. We have a pretty steep hill coming out, first, right off the exiting driveway. We do have a nice pine tree there, that we use as the memory tree. But then we have the one walkway going through. I think there's some bicycle racks and then there's some trees. There's the famous yews. I don't know if we have any comments about the usefulness of the yews. I think those were put up way before as to like to
Okay,
block
I
light.
moved
but I
here in
don't-
'87, they
Yeah.
were there.
So, and then there's, a sidewalk going straight down, which is a pretty steep curve, right down to the edge of School Street from the entrance. So there's a lot of opportunities there. You know,
We're mostly looking at the area that is highlighted in yellow. So just about here, just behind you.
Really?
Yeah, just like right here. So you've probably noticed, that every once in a while, there's an outdoor event, you know, kids come by and maybe there's a little bit of gathering and some music.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Yeah, the music is good. I just don't like, well, it had nothing to do with this, but the vehicle day. It's always on a trash day in this neighborhood.
Too many vehicles. Well, I don't.
comment noted, you're right, it is always on a Tuesday. Noted.
Well, that's an interesting, I didn't know about that one.
Who do we have online?
I think it's just Mrs. Stussy.
and Desiree and, Drea.
Andrea.
Oh, Andrea.
Do you want to ask? Can we ask her?
Sorry, have anything?
Yeah, she wants to provide any comments.
So, Mary, she's probably listening.
Feel free to unmute and,
I'm
Hey, look at-
listening. I'm wrestling with the dog too.
oh.
Who's winning?
Ask Jake.
That's, yeah. See this?
Hills are difficult.
Yeah, the hills, yeah. Well, and I think that's great. Thanks for bringing that up again. One of the accessibility issues are, how can we, is there a way like through switchbacks and things, I don't know, is there an easier way to help people access that space? Or only use the space that's easier to access? Although I sometimes feel like walking up that hill is the best exercise I get all day.
Which side do you come up?
Sometimes when I walk like to town for lunch or something, I go down there and
Okay.
coming back, I'm like,
Yeah.
I got my
You
exercise.
can't see it in the picture, but School Street, north to south, which
Yeah.
is from the bottom going to the top.
Yeah,
Actually, you're going downhill a bit.
yeah,
right?
yeah, there's
So-
definitely a big,
So the walkway that runs alongside the new part of the library is
Yeah.
reasonably level.
yes,
But the hill that goes from down there to School Street gets steeper and steeper and steeper the farther
yeah.
south you go.
Yeah,
So, yeah, once you get to the walkway, yes.
You're in your driveway.
Well, that too, yeah, that's me right there up there in the corner. Um,
I think it's difficult. The space is so broken up.
yeah,
Even like I said to Jake, if you could, the exit didn't have to be all the way to the corner because the grade is the least over on the Deering Middlesex corner. If the egress could be closer to where it was more flat, so that you had more contiguous space without the drive exiting right at the corner there of School and Middlesex.
and there might be some other opinions involved with that.
I think that
Well, they were
driveway
trying, when they first proposed the addition, they wanted to make it all the same, the access and it coming in and out, and they said that wasn't safe, but
They weren't able to do it because of, emergency vehicles,
yeah,
I
some
believe.
of the fire
Fire
trucks.
trucks in particular, because they're so big,
Yeah,
they needed a place to swing to get out.
I still do think though that fire trucks make much tighter turns than that on a regular basis, and so I'd love to explore in the alternatives a way to free up more of that corner space, because that seems like the most logical amphitheater.
well, is it possible for the exit to be a little bit farther west?
There's that, there's also like,
I
does the
mean-
driveway need to come right up against the building right there? Could that be pulled closer to the street? So it's something to think
I
about.
think we're
create
trying
more
to save
space.
as much of the land as we could, rather than just having it all tarred over.
Sure, understood.
That was part of the rationale.
Yeah, on the flip side, the front is really,
It's not doing anything.
no,
It's really not doing.
they mow it, it grows crabgrass.
Yeah, we've already had to replace the
know.
trees.
The dogs love it.
You're right, I mean, it doesn't actually, so it used to be, old days. Where you see the driveway there's technically driveway, but you didn't do that, so it was just flat, that's where we used to have our outdoor events. And it was a lot flatter and,
The garden club did their.
yeah, the garden club
access
did,
there.
yeah, so we did always have sort of that outdoor space, so I do think that we
Well,
feel that kind of
Well, the
missing.
exit came right through
Yeah,
this
the
building.
exit came down, yeah, the other way. Yeah, the whole driveway went around the building.
And you could still angle it, at the exit, but you see where that blue arrow comes down and you're about to come out that rainbow crosswalk, it's like, just follow that out to the street and you freed up, lots of square footage for lawn and additional
Is it-
programming.
Would you
Is
take
the-
away those parking spaces?
I think that's why it was there, yeah, it was the parking spaces, that's why it was added, so, but.
Maybe there's creative ways to fit those in
Yeah.
again.
We could leave those, like, well, no, you couldn't without having an exit.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, those are interesting thoughts. And I think, Mary, you're right too, that's one of the things when we stare at that, we go out there and we look at it, or I have. And, there's some beautiful trees, so the idea of cutting those down does break my heart. But in general, the whole space is kind of chunked out, on either side of the sidewalk and then the other walkway. And so finding ways to sort of make it unifying, or using those using those walkways and things to specifically divide and create an area. Like, this is a seating area and this is a performance area, so using it intentionally. using any breakup intentionally. And there's no, this is all brainstorming, so there's no wrong ideas, so keep, anything else, Larry, any other thoughts, ideas?
You don't wanna lose any parking spaces, I just know.
Probably
No.
not. We'd wanna have a net, yeah, because that only has a negative effect on the neighborhood if we lose actual spaces.
Well, you put more on the street, sure.
Right, that's what I mean, yeah, so.
Maybe it
Andrea,
needs a
hold-
rotary.
Stop.
We need a rotary. We could plant in the middle to make the traffic flow in and out more elegantly.
There you go, put a big fountain in the middle of it,
Cause that won't cause any problems.
yeah.
We're familiar with those here in Massachusetts.
Yeah, I know, roundabouts.
Well, it would just be so great if the hill was just more contiguous green, that's all.
Yeah.
Rotary in front of the portico or porte cochere or whatever you call it.
Hmm. That one in Winfield is fun, at the market there.
Oh. And they have beautiful grasses planted there that catch the
Yeah.
sun.
Yeah.
It works.
It does, no, I mean, it controls, when you think about how much traffic that little thing controls. Everybody going either to Whole Foods or to the housing or to the regular shops, I mean, it does control actually quite a bit of.
But you get a pretty good grade change between
Yeah.
where that walkway is in front of the porte cochere and
Yeah.
and the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Along Middlesex. So.
Build a little garage with, park your car in
Oh, sure.
and.
Carvana.
I
There
know,
you-
Carvana.
Maybe they got a leftover.
I am staring at that big old parking lot, and we've had people ask about putting in like solar panels and stuff over there,
Oh,
but
roofing it,
yeah, we're doing it just for
different project.
the totally different project, but I am looking at it going like, wow, look at all the sun that gets.
Mm.
It does get a lot of sun. I guess so to Mary and Jake and Larry, when you're walking down the street with your dog or when you're just going out to meet neighbors, you know, obviously with other people's houses, you don't just go sit on their lawn, but are there, is there anything that, what would make you wanna, is there anything would make you wanna hang out there, or anything that you would totally hate and never wanna hang out there, or, and sometimes it's easier to think about the things you don't want, but,
Well, I think sometimes when people are using the picnic table, it gets pretty noisy.
yeah, okay,
You can hear that down in the house.
okay.
Yeah, sound carries very well down the hill.
That's true, but, and I think we don't really think about that.
And
Great.
the space outside the community rooms, there was some attempt made to put landscaping in, but it's never been maintained, so you kind of wonder if it should just be.
Sorry about the plan.
Yeah, no, we hear you,
Oh, that's, yeah. Andrea's on the call.
yeah, irrigation, we're gonna have some, whatever we do has to have appropriate access to
Yeah.
whatever needs to be maintained.
I would like to see some way to utilize the rain, to maybe have rain barrels or to get the water that comes off those roofs to, then be used towards watering the plants that are in there or that
that-
would eventually go there.
Does that ultimately, I mean, that would be a small amount, I would imagine comparatively, but I guess it might affect the stormwater stuff. I mean, Ryan might know more about that. I can't
Talking
believe there
about
was,
just the downspouts off the building.
what, well, yeah, if you
Yes.
just like diverted a certain amount of it out, but it wouldn't be, I mean, the whole building obviously was designed to have certain
it's got
amount
a
of
hip
water,
roof, so it
cubic
goes-
feet, yeah, then it goes out the
Goes all different
stormwater thing,
directions.
so, I certainly wouldn't increase any stormwater.
No,
it's, you know, but I think obviously you want to use what we have, and if we have this really big footprint,
Mhm.
that's diverting water away, and it's now just diverting all the water away underground and into the sewer, is there a way you can leverage that at all?
Well, we had talked about that once, because I know there's a tank buried.
Yeah.
All right, but that probably also includes runoff from the parking lot, which you may or may not want to use.
Well, yeah, exactly, so, yeah, there's definitely.
Probably what comes down from the building goes in there as well now,
Okay,
so you might have to redirect it and store it somewhere else.
yeah,
Well, the thing is, again, if it's not edibles, then you have some flexibility with the quality of the water.
Agreed.
That's the thing. I mean, you can, off your own house, you can use that water to water a vegetable garden. But where we're thinking of more ornamental plants, obviously, and nothing that would be eaten, I think we could utilize as much of it as we could if there was a way to do it
Like I
easily.
said, I know there's a big tank buried down there, roughly where the walkway goes.
yeah,
How accessible it is, I have no idea.
Yeah.
The people in the town have the engineering for
We
that.
have to pump it
that's right, yeah,
out.
that's a Ryan question.
What are the little blue squares on there?
Bench.
Oh, benches. Okay, great, that's what we have seating, that's where we have picnic table and the little stone, our little Stonehenge there. Teeny weeny Stonehenge.
Yeah, you had a picture that showed it's like a series of stones in an amphitheater shape set right into the lawn, a sloping lawn. It was one of the early ones.
That one.
Yeah, I like that idea.
It's very simple.
It's simple and
It's nice though. It's,
now
I
if you're
mean,
going to do that
simple,
though,
simple, nice.
if you're gonna have something like a music event or something, you
Yeah.
have to provide power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, on the downhill side,
Well, and
So-
you know,
and
again,
that's something they can consider, sure.
right, that we definitely should consider it, and those might be like, I don't wanna say add alternates, but like, boy, if you really wanted to power it down to here, that's gonna be, maybe that's phase 2, or maybe that's only phase 1, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, like, or maybe we don't do concerts anymore, I
You're
don't
not
know.
setting up for a Kiss concert,
Yeah,
a 20 amp circuit is probably fine.
yeah,
You can get the electricity off the street rather than from the
oh, that's a
library.
good point too, yeah.
Or instead of, so you don't have to cut through everything and put the lines underground, just take it off the
Poles or something like that.
utility poles that way.
That's a good engineering question. But yeah, I do, there is something very simple and basic and not fussy, natural, like I think, Chris.
And you could have your
Fine.
seating a little more dense than that. but
Yeah,
Still,
yeah, but it takes advantage of the natural.
sure, very low maintenance.
Yeah. And I think it's extremely attractive.
Good to know.
There's elegancy in that simplicity.
Absolutely. Less is more.
Tree is gonna be awesome too, if it does.
Yeah.
So,
It will be.
Shading is gonna be important.
Yep,
Shade, if we look at the overhead view, it's just completely washed out at the bottom. Would you mind going back a couple of slides, Steve? To where that's,
yeah, that one.
because I, like, the grass that is on the bottom, I guess the northern side.
The brown patch
Yeah, it's just completely obliterated.
towards the school street side he's talking about.
Whereas the one on
Yeah.
the left-hand side, it's in better shape. I know just walking about there, so. I suspect that it has something to do with the shade. And so it would be great to preserve or add to it. I understand that preservation of shade is going to be a non-trivial effort since you would effectively have to work around the trees. But I would hate to see the trees disappear, I guess. Unless we can do effectively a one-to-one replacement, right?
But I think where the G is there, up in the corner, I think the only tree in that space is the fir tree. All the others are farther down.
Yeah.
Now, there are companies that could transplant trees. Even large ones, I believe.
Oh, yeah, had it done before,
So. I
years
mean,
ago.
It's,
They wouldn't have to move it far.
I mean, it may be worth it if a tree is a really great tree, we don't wanna get rid of it, and it provides great shade. And it just needs to be moved a little bit to be saved. You know, if they wait 40 years for it to be big enough to be worthwhile.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because a big tree will be really expensive.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, astronomical.
Well, we don't have to keep everybody here agonizing and long, but, any other thoughts before we go? And again, this is, this will be available on RCTV's YouTube, and you can share it with your friends, and, we can actually, I think, Steve, you can get us the presentation.
Yep, I can
Or
send
these
that
parts
to you.
of it, and then if you want, if it's something that you want to share, with more friends and neighbors, and then like an email, maybe we can set up a comment box or something like that. It's just, I think, an exciting opportunity to kind of make it. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's broken now, but it certainly it's an opportunity to improve the space. So that, kind of feels more welcoming and, useful. I think useful would be good.
Well, the library never got an opportunity to complete its final vision, right?
Well, I think the landscaping was sort of the last push, so I'll be honest, my memory of those actual last 12 months are a little blurry. So I can't remember the progression, but I do know that, there were bigger plans to do other things, and we just,
Never got around.
we were focused on the inside and getting it open. And that was really the biggest thing, and they laid down grass and it looked pretty, it wasn't a pile of dirt, so that was nice. So I just think, it's been 7 years. It's a good time to really kind of take a look at it.
It's a 7-year itch.
It's a 7-year itch, there we go. We're not gonna change everything, but just maybe revisit some of the thoughts and usefulness of it.
Things that couldn't get done for monetary reasons
Yeah.
back in the day.
Well, I think,
And as I recall, the addition made the grade on the hills even steeper, right, Jake?
well, except that the lowest floor of where we are right now in this room is the basement of the old building.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying the walkway is steeper.
Well, certainly on our side, oh, yes.
Yeah. So, because
No
you went from this to this, so it was still the same incline.
Well,
just it
plus
was
they
shorter.
also brought the parking lot
Yeah, forward, yeah.
farther up,
So-
so, and that's all the same level.
Yeah.
And they kept it.
Which is good for accessibility on that side of the building.
Except the
Great.
baby carriages used to be able to go all the way up the walkway, and now they have to go out on the dirt.
Yeah,
Something I used to watch a lot from my sink.
yeah, there's no way, the only way the only fully handicap accessible to the doors are going up the curved driveway. You have to go all the way around that side of the building. So, the Middlesex side.
Yeah, so
Um,
anybody coming up the School Street side with the baby carriage literally has to do around the whole building unless they
Yeah.
go on the lawn.
Right.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm just giggling, and I'm just picturing Mary staring out the window at watching people drag their baby carriages up backwards.
Well, I spend my life at the sink, so.
It's kind of like a new kind of TV show. All right, well, this is, Steve, Megan, do you have any other questions or probing ways, thoughtful ways to get other ideas or suggestions?
No, I think some of the comments and feedback are good suggestions, and we'll definitely take them into account once we really start looking at some concepts. I know we talked about just briefly, but the survey. So I think some of these comments, and we'll work with the committee and try and get a public survey out within the next week or so, hopefully. Have that out there for a little bit longer, and I think from there, that'll allow the neighborhood and whoever to digest it a little more and submit some questions or comments.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll work with you on that. I think we might even consider doing a little postcard with a QR code or web address so that we can, maybe we have to hand deliver it door to door, but we will get that, make sure we get to the neighbors. As well as it'll go out to a broader community as well. So that'll be great. And we have a great communications team that will get that survey out. All right.
Let's talk about you, Megan.
And Desiree on the line. All right, I guess you could take
Call
a
the
motion,
meeting.
you could take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Steve and Megan, thank you so much for joining us. It's a holiday, obviously tomorrow, but we'll be back in the office on Monday and Tuesday, so I look forward to hearing from you. Please let me know, email me if you have any questions.
Good.
And the meeting is adjourned, and you can call it.
I'm working the next 2 days.
End the
so
meeting.
start.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Thank you.